guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome to my channel. I'm super excited to have you for today's video. This video is going to be the start of a series of videos on how I stay organized and keep my life in track. Especially in school, it's really hard right now. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm in 18 credit hours. So I thought that it would be extremely beneficial just for me to share with you guys how I stay organized, my tips and tricks for absolutely scheduling everything in my life. This video is going to be kind of, like I said, the stepping stone. I really want to do one focused on school in general, and I already have like a school section starting on my channel. To put it in context, if this is your first time watching my video, I am a criminal justice major with a concentration in law enforcement, and I plan to pursue my master's degree in either forensic investigation or forensic science. So this semester I'm loaded, packed full of my schedule with my bachelor's classes for criminal justice. So it's kind of confusing, honestly, because all of my classes start to almost run into each other. A lot of the coursework is similar, except it's completely different and there's so many classes. I originally started the semester with 4 of them being online and 2 in person. Now, due to COVID and just like issues within the university, all of my classes are online except for 1 class I have in person. My 1 in-person class is criminal investigations, and I have it 2 days a week for an hour and a half. I don't know about you guys, but I prefer in-person classes just because that's where I'm gaining most of my knowledge and I feel like I'm actually learning the material. Online classes are easier in my opinion because you can just cheat your way through them, but I, honest to God, have been actually reading all the chapters and doing all the coursework. I've been going over the PowerPoints, watching any of the videos they ask us to do. So basically I've been trying to treat them as if I'm fully in class and that I can't cheat. For those of you who actually do want to learn to manage 18 credit hours along with a full-time job even, and plus more, this is the video for you. In the future, I'm going to be going over how I stay organized with a lot of different things in my life, like my finances, my YouTube videos, just more in-depth onto my schooling and like my plans for the future. But this video is just specifically for school, and it's just going to be kind of the basics of how I got started being extremely organized in my personal day-to-day life. So let's get right on into this video and I will tell you guys how I have managed to stay organized. So currently, right now, like I said, I only have 1 class that's in person and the rest are all online. I have this cute little planner over here and it's broken into 3 sections. So you can see the date, and then it has 3 different sections of places that you can put information. So due to the things that I want to categorize in my life, I put all my YouTube stuff in the first top column for the week, all of my school stuff in the second column for the week, and all of my personal scheduling, any kind of stuff that I need to remember or anything as far as work goes, that goes down in the bottom section. So for instance, in the bottom section of my planner might be doctor's appointments. I have a tattoo appointment this week, so that's put on there. It might be what days I have off, if I have days off, or what days I am working. The middle section, like I said, is all school stuff. However, I've been kind of doing my school stuff a little bit differently, so that kind of column right now is a little bit tricky. I've been saying columns, but it's rows. I guess it's a column if you do day to day. Anyways, I'm going to go over that with you guys. And then the top row is just stuff for YouTube. So I will put in there like what days I need to edit, what days I need to film, what days I'm posting, any additional stuff that just comes to mind during the week. That way I can keep that organized and make sure that I have it all calculated into my brain. So I'm gonna start out just by showing you guys kind of what I do for school. That's what this video is mostly focused on. So I'm gonna go through all of that with you. So basically the first step of this whole process is just going to my schedule for each class. I don't know what your university uses, but I assume you have some sort of like an outline. So my classes work week by week basis. So I always do 1 week at a time plus a day. So I run my schedule from Monday to Monday, and I write down all the stuff that is gonna be due that week and anything else like reading or watching certain materials. I put that all on my planner in one little spot. I color categorize them, and then as I complete them, I highlight them. I, next to every single thing that has to get done for the week, write the due date, and if you really want to get specific and you need to, you know, have time to do stuff even on the day of, then you can write the time that it's due as well. I usually try to get my assignments done the day before, and if I know I have like 1 or 2 that are due that day that I haven't completed, then I will go and check and see what time that they're due. So I don't really worry about the time quite as much on my schedule, but it's definitely up to user preference. So basically what I will do is I will go through, like I said, and section out everything into each class, and then after that is when I dig even deeper and kind of spread things out per the week. Depending on how organized you are, kind of depends on what level of splitting things up and like scheduling for the week you need to do. For this purpose of this video, I'm going to show you guys what I used to do when I was a little bit less organized and I needed a really specific set schedule. But normally for the week, I just keep that list of my assignments due and I follow it every single morning. I get on my planner and I look to see what stuff is due for the day. Like I said, for this video, I'm going to show you a very in-depth way of scheduling that I feel like is very beneficial if you're taking a lot of credit hours. So for instance, if I have class on Thursday and I know that I need to read certain chapters, then I will put that as due on Wednesday. So maybe on my Wednesday section of my planner, I will put to make sure that I need to read those chapters by Wednesday. I actually schedule out my finances for the week. Every single week, I schedule out all my appointments and all of my school stuff, anything random. I'm going to show you guys a little screen recording really quick of what my schedule looks like and my descriptions for each of my classes so that you guys can see that really quick. So basically each class is lined out into a different little section. When I click on that, I can see my grades, I can see my assignments, I can see modules, which is what I usually click on. For my specific classes, the modules are broken up, like I said, into weeks, so it's very easy for me to see every single thing that I need to do. Some of my classes have week overviews, which is really helpful. Basically, I go through every single document that's listed for the week and make sure that I have everything off of them. Discussion boards and stuff I know are like a really common thing in college, so a lot of the times my discussion boards will say a date that the discussion board is due, but my initial response is actually due on a different day, and so I have to make sure that I go through and I actually look at every single document for the week for every class. It does take me about 45 minutes to an hour to outline my whole week, but that's totally worth it to me because I have yet to miss an assignment, and with 18 credit hours I feel like that's pretty good. I also have straight A's right now, not to brag on myself, but so I feel like this is a very good way to organize your stuff. Like I said, as I get assignments done throughout the week, I highlight them. I make sure that assignments are pushed towards the beginning of the week that are more urgent or that take more time. Towards the end of the week, that leaves me, you know, some of my free time. I usually try to keep my Fridays open to doing like nothing but relaxing for my mental health, and so sometimes I will just bust out like half of my assignments in one night, which I don't really know if that's a good way of doing things, but it seems to be working okay for me. So I feel like that's kind of personal preference on what you feel like is, you know, acceptable as far as your caseload for one day. The thing with online classes or just school in general is it's really all about your mindset, and you have to be very determined to get all your stuff done. If you watch my previous video, I read about how I feel like people are pushed into going into college way too early, and if you don't have the drive to actually learn your course material or, you know, gain anything out of it, it's a lot more difficult to stay on track and get yourself focused actually doing your work. So I'm going to show you guys really fast like what I've done with my planner throughout the week and kind of break it down for you guys and let you see what I mean by my, you know, everything that's outlined. So like I said, I run my schedule from Monday to Monday. So today is Monday, September 7th. So I'm going to write all my stuff that's due Monday, September 7th through Monday, September 14th. This is simply just because it gives me one extra day that I've made sure is on two different schedules. Stuff that was due today was on my schedule for last week, and it's also due on my schedule for this week. So basically, as you can see by my screen recording, I'm basically just going through, I'm clicking on everything. So for this example, I'm just going to open up every single file on here, see if there's anything important. I'm going to click on the week. That's a PowerPoint, so I wouldn't be watching that right now, but I would just make sure that I know on my schedule that I need to watch that or that I need to look through it. I usually do that anyways before even starting the week, so I don't put that on my assignment list, but you can definitely do that to help stay organized. So then for this class, you can see that I have an assignment that is going to be due Wednesday. So I click on that. I see that it's due at 11:59. I see that nothing additional is going to be due before then, so I would write that on my schedule as being due that day. As I scroll down, I can see that other stuff is going to be due on the 14th or before. For this specific example, there's only something due on the 14th. So like I said, I'm going to write that stuff down. In order to do this chapter 5 quiz, I have to read chapter 5. So I'm going to go ahead and put down that I should be reading chapter 5 this week, and I'm going to put that due the day before that assignment is due. So like I said, the chapter 5 quiz is going to be on September 14th, which is next Monday. So I'm going to put that I need to make sure to have chapter 5 read by the 13th, which is the day before. So some of this stuff I might not have had done. Week 4 assignment is due September 9th, which is Wednesday. I already told you guys I wrote that down. So if I hadn't read chapter 4 last week, which I did, then I would go ahead and put read chapter 4 on this list as well, but I already know that I've read it because it was checked off on my last week's to-do list. So I only have 3 things that I need to write down for that class. For this specific class, the discussion boards and the responses are all due on the same day, so that doesn't matter, but I already knew that, so I went through and checked again just to make sure on the discussion board that's going to be due next week. So moving on to the next class, which is my mediation class. This class I really like because she breaks down the entire week in the week 4 overview, so I'm going to go ahead and click on that, and then I'm going to see that she literally outlines everything for me. So chapter 3 in the textbook needs to be done, as well as the PowerPoint. There's nothing that I need to do that I didn't do last week, so I don't have to worry about that. So I'm basically just going to write down that I need need to read chapter 3, do the PowerPoint for chapter 3, and then it says that I have a worksheet due on the 12th and that there's a quiz due on the 13th. So basically I will want to have that chapter read probably the day before that stuff is due, so we're going to aim for the 11th. So there is the stuff that is outlined for the week for that class specifically. So it's pretty self-explanatory. I just go through and I do this with every single class. And then like I said, as I get stuff done, I go through and I'll highlight everything color-coded by each class. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory, honestly. It's pretty easy. So I'm going to go through just the schedule of the rest of my classes for the week, and then I'll just kind of show you guys what that looks like. So now I went through this list and I spread things out per day of what I need to do. So if we hop over to this side of the week, we can see, for instance, that for this LAT 335 class, I put chapter 3 in the PowerPoint to do on Friday, and that's because there's a worksheet due on Saturday and there's a chapter 3 quiz on Sunday. So I kind of just space things out in the order that they need to do based on what is going to be due like the day after or the day before. And then you can see down here is like I have my tattoo. I haven't put the days that I work yet, but I technically work this day, and then I will be working some throughout the weekend. So that also helps me to kind of see the time frame of when I need to be able to get this stuff done as well. The last thing that I'm going to do is go through and color code all my classes for the week. I don't keep them the same per week. I just kind of make sure that they're outlined the exact same every single week. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight Law 190 with this color. As I get assignments done throughout the week, I will highlight those in that same color. As I go through this week, I'm simply going to highlight the stuff that matches those classes. I'm not going to highlight them to make me think that I got them done, but I'm going to highlight the class. That way I can see what stuff is due, what days for what class. It's just so easy when everybody talks so carefully, and will you're my melatonin daydream, pretend you don't, you know. So yeah, I know that this is a very basic form of outlining, but I feel like honestly people struggle with just even knowing where to start when staying super organized. So that's why I feel like this is honestly the best way to get started. I really hope that this information is beneficial to you guys and it will help you stay organized and, you know, get your stuff done. I know this has honestly been the most effective way for me to get everything done. It's really hard to outline an entire week just based on like looking at your school assignments and when they're due if they're not on a full list. I think it's easier to prioritize, see what days stuff needs to be done. That way you're, you know, keeping things in order. You don't want to be reading a chapter 20 minutes before an assignment is due that's over that chapter. So you want to be able to kind of display things on certain days that follow a path. I don't know, you guys know what I mean. So like I said, I have been keeping up to date and everything has been turned in on time. Once again, you can put down times that things are due. That's even more descriptive, which at the beginning when you're trying to figure out college and trying to figure out like a brand new schedule, that can be even more beneficial than just outlining like your classes and the days that things are due. Honestly, the more specific the better, because you're going to just be that much more organized. College is hard, there is a lot to it, and it's very time consuming and a lot of work. Honestly, I feel like I work 4 jobs because I do YouTube, I do 2 actual jobs, and I do college. And honestly, I'm pretty much doing stuff from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed. There's like very small amount of time that I'm actually not spent doing stuff. But I am going to make more videos on just how I stay organized, how I manage my time, and you know, kind of the set amount of time that I specify that is needed for each of the like important things in my life. I hope that you guys find these videos extremely beneficial and that you will gain something out of them. If there's any videos that are based on school that you guys would like to see, or just videos in general, I would love to hear them down below. If you guys have a similar way that you organize your schedule, let me know how it's working for you and what changes you made. I'd love to hear how everybody's doing in school and what you're studying. If you're not already subscribed, do not forget to subscribe. I think that you guys will appreciate being on my channel, and I have a lot of valuable content that is coming in the future. I post all sorts of content: lifestyle, fashion, college, vlogs, DIYs, decorating, fitness. I'm kind of all over the place, but honestly, I feel like that's what makes my channel unique, is I didn't want to decide on like one niche. So I hope that you guys once again did enjoy this video, and make sure that if you did, you give it a thumbs up and subscribe. I will be continuing to outline how I stay organized and how school is going, just other general videos that are good for just productivity and organization, and I hope to see you guys in the future on my channel. I love you guys so much. Have a great rest of your week. I hope you stay super organized, and I hope these tips help you.